tried to get out of Bragg as fast as I could. So when the drill sergeant thing like came around, I was excited about it. I was like, get me the hell out of here. Put up with drill sergeant school, ended up slowly kind of liking the idea of being a drill sergeant. Like the drill sergeant school thing worked and it motivated me into being as good as I can be. And I graduated with honors. I almost graduated as honor graduate. Like I really put my best foot forward. And I was kind of like accidentally really good at being a drill sergeant. I enjoyed seeing the motivation that I was providing to these kids. But at the same time, like I would fuck with them like every single day, man. I would tell them before I left, I'd say, what is gonna happen tomorrow morning at 4:59 and 59 seconds? And they would say like, you're gonna kick in the door, drill sergeant, and then you're gonna inspect the bay. And I'd say, you goddamn right. Good night. And I put them to bed and close it. And 4:59, 59 seconds, I'm kicking that fucking door in. And they're, Eddie's! And nobody, you can hear a fucking mouse fart, dude. And I'd inspect that bay, and every single day I would find a deficiency. But there was one cycle where I walked into the bay, and 4:59, 59 seconds, boom, and I'm inspecting this bay. I'm going through the bay, and there's nothing wrong. Like, there's not, like the toilet paper is pulled down to the same length in every single stall. Every single stall door is exactly at 45 degrees. Every single, cleaning supplies is like dress right dressed alphabetically. Like wall lockers are fucking perfect. I fucked them up for being too good. Like I destroyed this platoon for like 30 minutes because they did it too well. And they made a mistake by doing everything too well. And those are the type of mind games I played, man. I did it because after a while, you get bored of teaching the same thing. Like you're teaching the exact same thing for 10 weeks at a time. And as soon as you can start to stand these kids a little bit, they leave, graduate, and you get a brand new group of fucking shitbags who don't even know how to go to the position of attention. So you find little games like that where you play. My other infantry buddies and I, we would play a game every cycle to where we would tell their platoon without them knowing that there was something wrong with the drill sergeant. One time, my buddy pulls me aside and he said, hey, Ski, and this is like day 2 of basic training. He's like, hey, I told your entire platoon that you have severe PTSD, and if you ever start having a tic that you're about to explode, and to make sure if they ever see this tic, that they behave, because I'm really close to like losing my shit and like, murdering all of them or something. So he told me this and I'm like, oh, I can run with this. This is gonna be entertaining. So day 1, I'm going over like the M4 and I'm like, all right, privates, check it out. This is the M4, it's semi-automatic, magazine fed, 5.5. And just silence across the whole platoon. And like all of them just kind of like perked up and their eyes got a little bit higher. And I was like, hey, sorry about that, privates. Like, anyway, like I said, it's 31 inches long and it fires this. And they started paying attention more whenever I had these little tics, and it worked. And when it came time to PT or shoot, like they're shooting really well because they're paying attention to all these classes. And I'm like not having any disciplinary issues. So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking run with this. So I do it for the rest of the cycle and it goes super well. I never like freak out on them, but they always thought. And the day before graduation, I always had this thing where I'd sit them down in the kill zone, which is the center of the bay, and I'd let them ask me whatever they wanted. Whatever they wanted to ask me, they would ask me. And that's once I figured out this little trick of playing games, their hands would like shoot up in the air and I already knew what they were about to say. They'd be like, drill sergeant, do you got severe PTSD or were you kidding? And I'd be like, the whole fucking thing's a lie, privates. Like, and they'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up, remain disciplined, shut the fuck up before I do flip out. And I had a technique that I also used like every once in a while for sleepers, like privates that are sleepy right at the beginning of the cycle. I'd be in the classroom and I'd be teaching and I would see Private Smith or whatever falling asleep because he's tired, right? Because it's the first 2 days of basic training. And I'd walk up to him really calm. I'd stop doing what I'm doing. I'd be like, all right, privates, check it out. This is a compass. You need to carry this around. And I'd be like, oh, we have a sleepy private. And I'd say it just like that. And I'd walk up to him and I'd say, hey, Private Smith, you need to go to your bay and you need to secure your mattress, your blankets, and your pillow. And they'd like wake up like, oh, what? And then I'd fucking slam on the desk and be like, go get your fucking mattress, go get your pillow and your blankets and bring them in here. They'd go, battle buddies go, secure what I asked them to secure. They'd drag it into the classroom, and I had a table in front of my classroom. And I would make them take that mattress, make their bunk on top of this table, and I'd make them get into bed and suck their thumb and go to sleep. And you can imagine how embarrassing this is for a private, right? Like, he's there, he's now in front of 65 of his friends who are gonna be his friends, and he's like having to make his bed, but they're very hesitant because they don't know how serious I am. And they would be like, and I'd be like, hurry the fuck up and make your bed, private. You have to take a nap. I have a class to teach. Can I teach my class? All right, roger that. And I'd go back to teach my class. They'd get in bed. I'd tuck them in. I'd make them suck their thumb, and I'd tell them like really quiet, like, close your fucking eyes. Close your eyes. And everybody hears this. This is all just show. This is all, I don't care if that private sleeps, but I'm trying to teach other privates not to sleep in class. One time I was doing this little trick, and I had a kid, sleeping, sucking his thumb, and my first sergeant comes in, and he's like, drill sergeant, can I speak to you? And I'm like, yeah, roger that, first sergeant. And I run outside, and he's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? I was like, teaching privates not to sleep in class. And he goes, I didn't see this, and he walked away. Because dude, I rode that fine line of I'm being ethical and I'm not being ethical. I rode it pretty well as a drill sergeant. It worked. The results would come in for PT. My platoon was the best. The results would come in for shooting. My platoon did the best. We won everything. We had the highest scores and everything. So my little system that I figured out worked, and I entertained myself at the same time.